Hello students, welcome to my channel. Today I am here to teach you Cbse class 6 science second chapter, which is components of food. Today we will study about components of food. The first chapter was about food. Where does we get from? So today we will continue with the second chapter, that is components of food. So let us begin. In chapter 1, we made list of the food items that we eat. We also identified food items eaten in different parts of India and marked them on its map. A meal could consist of chapati, dal and brinjal curry. Another may be rice, sambar and vegetable preparation of lady's finger bhindi. Yet another meal could be appam, fish curry and vegetables. So in chapter 1, we had studied that different parts of India in different parts of India, we find different parts of food being eaten. That is, in some parts of chapati, dal and brinjal curry, and they might be in some other part that is rice and vegetables and sambar, and in other parts we can find that eating appam and fish curry and some vegetables. So let us see activity 1. Our meals usually have at least one item made of some kind of grain. Other item could be a dal or a dish of meat and vegetables. It may also include items like curd, buttermilk and pickle. Some example of meals from different regions are given in table 2.1. Select food item you depicted on the map in chapter 1 and some more meals to this list and enter this in 2.1. So here's the table given. So you can add some items to it and you can see. So as we saw here, we either use one kind of grain and in some dish we can use meat and vegetables, and in some curd and buttermilk and pickle. So you can write a dish and make out here like this: item of a grain, item of dal or meat, vegetables used and other things used in a meal. So your region or the state, you can take South India or Karnataka, having item of grain, that is a roti, jawar roti, item of dal or meat, item of dal, tur dal, vegetables like tomatoes, tomato curry or brinjal curry, other things like buttermilk, curd and pickle you can add to this. So you have to do like this. Sometimes we may not really have all this variety in our meals. If we are traveling, we may eat whatever is available on the way. It may be possible for some of us to eat such variety of items most of the time. There must be some reason though why meals usually consist of such a distribution. Do you think that our body needs different kind of food for some special purpose? So when we are traveling, we might not get these many varieties of meal, but when usually we are at home and having food, we will eat all this variety of food. Why do we eat all this variety of food? Does a body really require all these varieties of foods for some special purpose? So let us know. What do different food item contains? We know that each dish is usually made up of one or more ingredients which we get from plant or animals. So we always know that a dish is made up of many ingredients which we either take from plant or from animals. So these ingredients contain some components that are needed by our body. So why all these ingredients are added to a dish? So all these ingredients contain some components which are necessary for our body. That is why all these ingredients are added so that our body can get all the required components. So these components are nothing but the nutrients. So nutrients, the major nutrients in our body are named. So there are 5 major nutrients which our body requires, that is carbohydrate, proteins, fat, vitamins and minerals. These are the 5 nutrients, that is carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals and vitamins. In addition, Food contains dietary fibers and water, which are also needed by our body. So along with all these 5 nutrients, our food will also contain some dietary fibers and water, which is also required for our body. So these 5 nutrients, dietary fiber and water, is also required for our body. Do all food contain all these nutrients? So if we are eating one food item, do you think that food item will contain all these nutrients, the same food item? With some simple methods, we can test whether cooked food or raw ingredient contain one or more of these nutrients. The test for presence of carbohydrates, proteins and fats are simpler to do as compared to test for other nutrients. Let us do this test and record all our observation in table 2.2. For carrying out these tests, you will need solutions of iodine, copper sulfate and caustic soda. You will also need a few test tubes and a dropper. So, to test that our dish contains either carbohydrates, proteins or fats, so to know them, we will carry out some tests. So, and we will record the observation and note down the results in the table 2.2. And we will require some test tubes, some solutions like iodine, copper sulfate and caustic soda to carry out all this experiment. So let us begin with the first activity. Try these tests on cooked food item as well as raw items. Table 2.2 shows you a way to record the observation from these tests. Some food items are given in the table. You can conduct the test either with these or another available food items. Do these tests carefully and do not try to eat or taste any chemicals. If the required solutions are not available in the ready-made form, your teacher can prepare them as given in the box. So you can begin with the experiment activity 1.1. Let us begin by testing different food items to see if they contain carbohydrate. This is the test for the carbohydrates. There are many types of carbohydrates. The main carbohydrates found in our food are in the form of starch and sugar. We easily test if a food item contains starch. So let us begin. So a dilute solution of iodine can be prepared by adding a few drops of tincture iodine to a test tube, half filled with water. So you have to dilute this iodine, that is tincture iodine, with the water. So take half a test tube of water and add few drops of iodine to it. So you will get a diluted solution of iodine. Copper solution can be prepared by dissolving 2 grams of copper sulfate in 100 ml of water. So to form a copper sulfate solution. So I am telling you what are the solutions needed. You prepare them first and keep it aside, and then we can do the experiment. So to form a copper sulfate solution, we can take 2 grams of copper sulfate in 100 ml of water. So you will get a copper sulfate solution. 10 grams of caustic soda dissolved in 100 ml of water makes the required solution of caustic soda. So by dissolving 2 ml of copper sulfate, you will get copper sulfate solution. So here you have to dissolve 10 grams of caustic soda in 100 ml of water to get a caustic soda solution. So the test for starch. Take small quantity of a food item or a raw ingredient. Put 2 to 3 drops of dilute iodine solution on it. Observe if there is any change in the color of the food item. Did it turn blue-black? A blue-black color indicates that it contains starch. Repeat this test for other food items to find out which of these contains starch. Enter all your observation in table 2.2. So by taking this iodine solution, you have to drop some 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution on the food item. It might be some rice, some potato or something, and see them. That will change into blue-black color. So if it is changing into blue-black color, that means your food contains starch in it. So starch is nothing but it is a form of carbohydrate. So this was a test for carbohydrates. So let us continue with the test for protein. Take a small quantity of food. It's for testing. Okay. If the food you want to test is a solid, you first need to make a paste of it or powder it. So if you are taking dal, you have to grind them and make it into a paste. Grind or mash a small quantity of the food item. Put some of this in a clean test tube. Add 10 drops of water to it and shake it well. So when you add this ground powder or a paste, add some 10 drops of water to it. Now using a dropper, add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution and 10 drops of caustic soda solution. You have to put 2 drops of copper sulfate and 10 drops of caustic soda solution, and then shake well and let the test tube stand for few minutes and keep your test tube aside for a few minutes. What do you see? Did the contents of the test tube turn violet? A violet color indicates presence of protein in the food items. Now you can repeat this test on other food items. So what if the color changes to a violet, then it tells that the food items contain protein. So you can try this experiment by using 10 drops of caustic soda solution and 2 drops of copper sulfate solution on other food items and record it in the table 2.2. So here in the table 2. So before that we will go for test for fats. Take a small quantity of a food item, wrap it in a piece of paper and crush it. Take care that the paper does not tear. Now straighten the paper and observe it carefully. Does it have an oily patch? Hold the paper against light. Are you able to see the light faintly through this patch? An oily patch in the paper shows that the food item contains fat. The food items may sometimes contain a little water. Therefore, after you have rubbed an item on the paper, let the paper dry for a while. If there were any water that may have come from the food, it would dry up after some time. If no oily patch shows up after this, the food item does not contain any fat. What do the tests show? Are fat, proteins, and starch present in all the food items that you tested? Does a food item contain more than one nutrient? Do you find any food item that does not contain any of these nutrients? We tested food items for 3 nutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. There are also other nutrients like vitamins and minerals that are present in different food items. Why do we need all these nutrients? So we had done the test for carbohydrates, test for proteins, and test for fats. So test for fats is very simple. You have to take a food item, crush them in a paper and check that if the paper turns oily. So if the paper turns oily, then and hold it against the light, you can see the light through, and you can confirm the test for fats. So this you will record them in the table 2.2. So raw potato, yes, if starch is present, when you add the solution of iodine, few drops of iodine on it, then it will change into blue-black. So milk contains protein, so that will change into violet color. So when you add caustic soda and copper sulfate solution, that will change into violet color. Groundnut, when you keep that groundnut in the paper and crush them, the paper will turn oily. That contains fat in it. Uncooked powdered rice, so uncooked powdered rice will change the color into blue. That means that contains starch. Cooked rice, that also contains starch. Dry coconut contains fat, that means the paper turns oily. Uncooked tur dal contains protein. Cooked dal contains protein and fats. A slice of any vegetable. So this is a trick for them. A slice of any cooked vegetable or uncooked one. So if it is a slice of potato, it is a vegetable, so that will turn into black blue, that means it has starch in it. A slice of any fruit, yes, let us take apple, so that will also turn into black blue, which contains starch in it. Boiled egg, white protein, that contains white portion, that contains protein in it, which will change into violet color when you add caustic soda and copper sulfate solution. So in this class we had done the test for fat, test for protein, test for starch, that is a type of carbohydrate, and also studied 5 important types of nutrients required for our body, and also fiber and water, and also we learned about preparing the dilute solution of iodine, copper sulfate and caustic soda, and we also saw all these nutrients are important for our body. So in this class we have studied about the test for protein, test for starch, that is a type of carbohydrate, and also test for fat. So in the next class we'll continue the chapter 2. So please stay connected. Thank you for being connected till now. Please watch my next video. Thank you.